excited to introduce Genice Hall-Fowler, a 2020 top 10 businesswoman as noted by the American Business Women's Association. She's also on the National Board of Directors for ABWA, is District 1 Vice President, and is an approved candidate for ABWA National President. Genice embraces life from a positive perspective. She is appreciative that God placed in her life a loving husband and two beautiful daughters. Genice is a native of Newberry, South Carolina, with career beginnings as a biscuit maker and certified professional secretary. She then went on to graduate from Limestone College with a bachelor's degree in business management, a master's of social work from University of South Carolina, along with PhD coursework in organizational leadership from Capella University. Mrs. Hall-Fowler is a licensed clinical social worker as well, and the owner of Grateful Guidance Life Counseling, LLC, where she specializes in helping others discover their happy. Welcome, Genice.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Maggie.
Oh, my pleasure. I mean, that's not even your full bio. You're so wonderfully accomplished and have such a lovely style. Thank you for being here. Talking about leadership, it's a very interesting topic, right? And it's on our radar even more than before in life and in all of our organizations. Really, there isn't a place where leadership really isn't being challenged, and also there's opportunities as well, right? Places where people can grow. So thank you for being here today, sharing your perspective on leadership, given your amazing background. So one of the things I'd like to start with is, in terms of what you've seen for effectiveness in leadership, given all the different things you've done, in today's world, has it changed? Is it the same? What do you think it really takes to be effective as a leader today?
Well, thank you for asking that question, Maggie, and thank you for having me. I will say that I am excited to be here and hope that I can make a difference for your listeners and viewers today. What does it take to be an effective leader in today's world? Well, of course, we know there's a wealth of different things, but I wanted to touch on just a few today. One of the ones that I think I wanted to start with is just having that balance, the balance of being healthy, the balance of being skilled, having relationships. So in today's leaders, we know that some of those important skills of being able to talk one-on-one with a person while also standing in a room full of people, often of diverse backgrounds, diverse careers. Those are really skill sets for today's leader. Those written, although we got all this electronics, those written skills of writing a letter, communicating your vision or your thoughts or even the changes that are to come in a way that is well articulated, again, both written and of course verbally. We do want great speakers if we want to listen to leaders. And for me, I say confidence to stand in your own greatness, but also confidence to know when you need to ask a question, you need to ask for help. Those things matter. Giving yourself grace. Those are all things that I believe today's leader will benefit from, in addition to some other things.
Wow, I know there's probably a list we can make a mile long, isn't there? Which is one of the challenges of being a leader. But you actually, have taken leadership roles, as we've heard, and there's even more to you. It's really amazing. But one of the things that stuck out for me, I recently met you at an ABWA event, or met your photo on the Zoom, your face.
Hey, it was there, yes.
You were there, yes. It was wonderful because it was about leadership, and that's what really inspired this conversation today. And one of the stories that came through that I wanted to also share with the listeners here is that you grew your local ABWA chapter from 5 members to 60 members. And you did it in honor of your mother. And talk about leadership. You not only did that, you served then as chapter president, and you earned a best practices award for league management, right? So Tell us about how you did that and how leadership played into that for you. Share your leadership success story, Genice.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for asking. I'll start with my passion to really make a difference in my hometown. So yes, Women Connecting Women chapter of Newberry, South Carolina, a local chapter of the American Business Women's Association. We started with 5 women in the local Palms restaurant. And then we grew into the 60 large at the chartering in downtown Newberry. We did that in about 11 months. And how that I'll say played out is my connections. So we talked a little bit earlier about relationships, building relationships made a difference. I called the people that I knew, and they called the people that they knew. And also, remember, we talked about that communication skill set. So being able to really share my vision, I was very clear on what I thought Newberry needed. I thought that there was a niche that we could fill in offering women in the area and the county educational, leadership, networking support, and national recognition opportunities. And so I was able to really just kind of put that fire out across Newberry County and tell others, let's do this thing. So me doing it in honor of my mother also gave that personal touch. So people knew that, oh, I did not have a hidden agenda. I was not trying to promote my own self or my own business. Yes, I have accolades. Yes, I've authored books and taught at colleges, but I was here because my mother passed in September of 2018 after long years of battling lung cancer. And so through that, that was part of my healing process. And I knew that she being the first, I didn't know it back then, working entrepreneur, leader in her own rights, that this is what she wanted, because she used to always say, oh, you're always busy doing stuff, doing business stuff. I like to see, what are you doing next? And so in my head, I'm like, she's saying, so what are you doing next? And my next was not to be swallowed up in my grief. And that's how Women Connecting Women came into be.
Wow. I get chills just hearing that story, even again, Janice.
Thank
So,
you.
oh, you're welcome. And I think you shine when you talk about this story and so many others as a leader and the things you've done. So, what for you is the best part about being a leader?
Oh, wow. The best part of being a leader is helping others to get to that point. Let me tell you, there is something special about giving back and bringing people forward, because we know that we're part of a multi-generational world. And we are not here to be in this position, in this leadership position forever. And if we're not actively engaging the next generations and teaching them and having succession planning, then we're not doing our job. So I love that. I'm an educator by trade. I'm a supervisor by trade. And so really helping other people to kind of come along and do that. That's one of my best parts of leadership. And let me tell you, Maggie, I enjoy the journey. To me, it's a party with a purpose. Now, you don't know this about me, Maggie,
Oh, what's
but
that?
I like to dance and have a good time. And I tell people, especially in, I'll say a nonprofit, well, not nonprofit, but volunteer generated organizations, is we're not being paid a bunch of money, if any. So why not do it with enjoyment? Like, if you're not having fun, why are you here, girl? Like, be glad you're here, and allowing people to see that so they can be it. I'm going to tell you, those are some of my best reasons for leadership. And then I continue to lead and learn, because leaders are learners, but learners are also leaders. So I'm a lifelong learner, and I have fun because there's always an opportunity for me to continue to learn. And that's kind of the short of it.
Wow. I mean, I think that's great because I do think burnout can happen, right? And if we're not having fun, fun is a great antidote to that because it gives you purpose and it
Yes.
gives your life meaning. And I agree with you. We're not having fun. What are we doing here? And I know you have, a great motto about having fun as well. Tell us about your motto.
Oh, wow. My motto is be you, be happy. And so, and I love the sunflower. You see, I got one. I try to carry it wherever I go. It was one of my mother's favorite flowers, but the story behind the motto and the sunflower. When my mother was sick, we did plant some sunflowers, and I prayed that she'd be able to see them grow. And she did. So I was careful that it wasn't, she may live forever. Of course, you want your mom to live for, but I prayed for her to see the sunshine and to see the sunflowers. And so that's what I like to remind people, like, look up and look toward the sun. Continue to do the things that authentically make you feel good. You're not always a people pleaser. And in the end, when you do those things that are authentic to you, you're much better at doing them. Your light shines brighter. And hey, be you, be happy, as I always say.
Wow, I love it, and it shines through. I mean, it's not just a motto; it's obviously your way of life. Now, leadership offers its challenges, as we know. So, we want people who are considering taking on leadership roles or are already in them to kind of be prepared for that. So, what's challenging to you about leadership? Have you seen be challenging for folks, and how can we help them through those challenges?
Well, Maggie, life, life can be challenges.
Mm.
And, if not for the challenges, how do we grow? We would probably stay stagnant. So for me, and I can only speak for me, some of the challenges that I've overcame or I still have to be mindful of, because it's a journey. Remember, it's a journey.
Mhm.
Sometimes the balance is about staying focused, not getting distracted from, it could be a person or it could be a thing. Because a lot of us, especially leaders, we generally multitask, but then we have to be focused on maybe the task at hand. Like, I'm here for you today, like, this is what I'm doing. But there may be 10 other things, but I know today I'm balanced and I'm focused on this. And also the challenge of, what I talked about earlier, balancing work, home. Yes, you have jobs, but you also have relationships you need to pay attention to. You have people who are in crisis that they want to call on you. And so those sometimes just that whole balancing act, I think, is somewhat of a challenge, but I remain authentic to what feels right for me to be in the moment with, and the person that I need to be in the moment with. I am mindful that, I keep my husband in mind, my children in mind. I have two adult daughters who are also part of the Business Women's Association that I'm a part of. And
Mhm.
of course, God is first. So when you have those things, when those challenges come, then you're able to face them with giving yourself a little more grace. I also make sure that, in my challenges, I have an inner circle. I have an inner circle of support people that probably have more tenure than me or just have sometimes more calmness than me. And we're able to approach challenges together. So whatever they are, again, for me, it's the balance of making sure I'm staying focused, making sure that I'm building relationships, I'm communicating what that I believe is out there that needs to be communicated. And the challenge sometimes is being okay with failing. And I'm going to use that word, being okay with, my mother used to say, nothing beats a failure but a try. So it means, of course, we're going to fail at something, but we're still trying because we learned from it. Just being the change management person who, through all those trials, you still have to keep people inspired. You have to keep them in tune with what's going on, updated, and let them know that change is necessary part of the progress, but it can be challenging. So those are the things that I'm challenged with as a leader, but those are the truths of life and leadership.
Very much intertwined, aren't they? We're leading every day in our own lives, I guess.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Actually, there is a story that came out as well in the recent ABWA meeting that I think fits this idea of overcoming challenges and having a different perspective about it. Tell us about how you changed the addiction recovery program to have a different name so that it could actually serve people better, the women better. What did you do with that scenario? Tell us that story.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you for asking that. Um, at the time that I worked in substance abuse and recovery, we worked with young women, or I should just say women of diverse ages. And they also had families a lot of times. So say child rearing women. But the program, and we traditionally know they have substance users often are not the most popular thing you want to talk about. It certainly hasn't been traditionally something you celebrate when you say you have to go to treatment. But for these women, we have found out through working with them and talking with them that confidence is needed, their esteem needs to be built up. And so we switched the program around that it went from just substance abuse treatment to Transformational Institute for Women. And what that did for those women is they felt that they were coming to class, they were coming to learn, they were proud to tell somebody, could be the next person that needed treatment, that I'm in this program, in this Transformational Institute. And at the end of that, we had a graduation program where they were able to bring their families, we had meals, and you could see the pride on their faces and their families' faces because they had not just finished treatment for substance abuse, but now they've built some life skills. They've built some work skills. So the program was really, it was well-rounded, that they didn't walk out with just what they lost, but it was all about what they were gaining. And we are today still proud of Transformational Institute for Women.
Wow. Genice, again, chills just hearing these stories, and I've heard them before. So I can only imagine what they're doing because it comes from the heart, your leadership, very much about being of service, and it shows, and it's really beautiful. You've actually been a three-time published author yourself, offering great resources such as If She Can, Happiness Diary, Discover You're Happy, and Grandma B's Biggest Cheerleader for Me, a tribute to your mom. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What resources do you recommend for people? Are your books good resources? I'm sure they are. But what can really help today's leaders if they're inspired by this conversation, but they know they need to brush up on their skills or get inspired. What do you recommend?
Well, one of the things that I'm going to start with is find I call it your person. Your person meaning a mentor, someone that has your back, someone that can point out your critical parts, but also point out your qualities. Because I think that having that person, that mentor, however you want to identify them, can help you. We are not in this alone, and we shouldn't be in this alone. We are here for you. We are women about helping other women, whether it's one woman at a time or collectively. So be sure that that's one of your first resources, is finding that support person or support people. I also, shameless plug, Maggie, I'm going to promote the American Business Women's Association because its core tenets are based on leadership, networking support. So we need those things as we're growing as leaders, and also education. So I encourage you, if you haven't considered membership, that may be something that you want to do. And I'll leave it at that, abwa.org. And other things are just to continue your education. One of the things that I was mindful of, and I'm still mindful of, is that we don't show up just as a leader. I mean, we have natural leadership skills, but I went to school. I got my bachelor's, I got my master's, I got a couple of licensures and certifications. And that's not to brag, that's to say, there was some delayed gratification along the way, and it didn't just happen overnight. So there are baby steps that make big steps. And so I want to encourage those who are wanting to move further in leadership or in careers in general. Know what your baby steps are, know what your goals are. And of course, you have to enjoy doing it as you're doing it. And then there's another cute thing I'll say about resources. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, and I say with a smile, meaning don't overload yourself. Like, find something that's working for you that will help you get there. This is your life. Learn the power of salary negotiation. And if you don't understand what that means, call somebody. And yes, somebody could be me. And then pick up a couple of books, because what I said before, leaders are learners and learners are leaders. So be sure that you're continuing to learn. You're finding books that help you. You're finding mentors. I think those are the resources. There was a young lady, Kate Hodges, and she said that behind every great woman is another great woman. So I can't press that enough, that you particularly find at least one somebody, and they're all around you. And a couple of books that I'll share that I use, and it's odd enough, it's not necessarily a leadership book, but it's Ayanna Van Sant's Acts of Faith. And why that's important to me is because it keeps me grounded. When you're grounded, you have a clearer vision of where you want to go from a business perspective, a career perspective, but also from a life perspective. I keep saying it, this is your life. Now, business, of course, John Maxwell, we know he's the guru of it all. So pick up a John Maxwell book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. From Good to Great, Why Some Companies Make the Leap. There's a lot of books out there. Think and Grow, Extreme Ownership, Dare to Lead is another good one. The Effectiveness of Executives. So the list goes on. You know what? You can Google that or ask AI. And so that's what I would say to those. Dare to dream and have your dream builders around you. And again, this is your life. Make the best of it. Enjoy it. Enjoy your journey. And need I not say, be you and be happy, because your authentic self is all you have to offer the world. So why not offer it?
That's right. It's all that's needed. Wow. Boy, do we see eye to eye. I'm like sitting here, yay, yay. Say that. Janice, it's so wonderful to have you here today. Thank you so much for taking the time, sharing your genius. And I think it's not a coincidence that your name, Janice, looks like genius. Okay. Let's just say it. All right.
Thank you. I'm claiming it.
Oh, you're welcome. Where can people find out more about you?
They can find me on Facebook. They can find me on YouTube under Jenice_Hall. I'm Genice Hall on Facebook, Genice Hall on Instagram, and there may be a couple other places, but they can also look. So you can email me at Genice, Genice, the number 4, ABWA @gmail.com. That's Genice for ABWA @gmail.com. And if we get real chummy, I'll give you my phone number.
There you go. You might be getting some mentoring requests. We'll see. But Janice, thank you so much again for taking the time. You're a definite inspiration. Keep leading the way for all of us. And thank you again.
Thank you.